Hello Facebook, this is Wally Garneau, aka the Daily Libertarian. I'm heading up into northern Michigan with my beautiful wife Gosha, who I don't think you've met, so I'll introduce her. Sweetheart, say hi to Facebook.
Hi.
I want to talk a little bit today about President Trump, the question about whether or not he's really lied 12,000 times. I want to talk a little about other politicians, how they lie, and whether or not those lies may be more significant. And then I want to talk a little bit about China and how they relate to all of this. So stay tuned for that part. Believe me, it'll make your blood boil. At any rate, first of all, I want to talk about Trump and the 12,000 lies. According to CNN, Trump has now lied 12,000 times. That, of course, is a tremendous number of lies. I think somebody figured it comes out to something like 100 a day. Tremendous number of lies. He must be lying constantly. So I wondered how that's possible. And if you look at the fine print, for example, when fact check says that Trump said something, it's not true, that Trump lied. If you look at the fact check on that, you'll find that it's not just lies they're counting. They're also counting what they call misleading statements. And a misleading statement, the phrase misleading statement is very, very subjective. For example, if I told you that here in northern Michigan, it's a beautiful day out with a bright blue sky, somebody might decide that the saying that it's a blue sky is actually a misleading statement because, of course, the sky isn't really blue. It just looks blue because of the way that it reflects the sunlight. So when you dig into the supposed lies Donald Trump has told, some of them are lies. I'm not going to tell you Trump never lies. Trump lies as all politicians do. A lot of Trump's lies are pretty stupid, like, my crowd was bigger than your crowd, dumb things like that. But when you look at many of the things that what Trump says that are called lies by the media, you find out that they're just misleading statements, and that in many cases they're not really misleading at all. It's just somebody in the media trying to spin it that way. So Trump has not lied 12,000 times. I don't know how many times he has lied. I'm personally not keeping count, but he doesn't lie constantly. So that's the first thing I wanted to dispel. The next thing is we can talk about some of the lies that other politicians have made and whether or not those lies may be more or less significant than anything Trump has said. For example, Barack Obama once told us, if you like your health care, you can keep it. If you like your doctor, you can keep him. That was a lie, and that was a very, very important lie. It helped to pass a very, very important and very damaging health care law, the Affordable Care Act, which should have been called the Non-Affordable Care Act. Would never have passed if he hadn't promised the American people, if you like your health insurance, you can keep it. It was a blatant lie. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton, the person that Donald Trump was running against in 2016. Hillary Clinton told the partners of Goldman Sachs that she has two political platforms. One that she tells the public, that's, of course, geared to get her elected, and a separate one, completely separate, that she would actually enact once president of the United States. And she told Goldman Sachs that she would run the country with three groups, essentially as equal partners. One would be the government. One would be the big banks like Goldman Sachs, who she was talking to. And the third group would be big businesses, corporate America. That's actually fascism. That's what she was promising Goldman Sachs. She would make us literally a fascist country. Not just that, but Hillary Clinton, in saying that she has two completely separate political platforms, what she was telling the American people, or telling Goldman Sachs rather, is that everything she says to the public is a lie, that we can't believe anything she says publicly, because she doesn't mean it. She came right out and said, what I'm telling the American people, that's all bullshit. I'm not going to implement that. I don't care about any of that. I'm just telling them that to get elected, and then here's what I'm really going to do. I'm going to give you guys a seat in government, and we're going to run this as a fascist country. That's an incredible lie. And it's one that she came right out and said. So, she actually admitted to Goldman Sachs that she lied. We only know about it because of Wikipedia. Wikipedia got a copy of the transcript of that speech, and you can look it up on Wikipedia's website. Hillary Clinton may be the most corrupt politician in the history of our country, and she came right out and said it. So, Trump is not said 12,000 lies, and for the most part, his lies are nowhere near as significant as the lies other politicians either do say or have said in the past. So let's just get that right out of the way. The next question then is why this is such a big deal, and that gets into China. I promised I'd talk a little bit about China and how they apply to all of this. The big thing with China is that in 2015, and China has been economically competing with us for a lot longer than that, but in 2015, China's War College came out with a study in which they said that First of all, they said that war with the United States was absolutely necessary, that there was no way China could truly emerge as a dominant world power without taking the United States out. So war with the United States was determined to be something China had to do. That said, China also realized that a fighting war with the United States and military conflict with the United States was not something that they had any chance of winning at that time or for the foreseeable future. So their war college came out and said there are really three kinds of ways you can fight a war. One way is an information war. A second way would be an economic war, and then the third way would be what the China calls a kinetic war. A kinetic war being a shooting war, guns and missiles and what have you. China's war college said they couldn't win a kinetic war, but they thought they could and would win an information war and a economic war. So that's what China started doing in 2015, fighting an economic and an information war against the United States. China wanted Hillary Clinton as president because she wasn't going to do anything about it. She was going to let China just kind of continue on. China, after all, had given a tremendous amount of money to her husband when he was president of the United States. He traded China for the China's intelligence agency. He actually traded them for campaign funds. Their ballistic missile guidance system, which of course they also used for their space program. So now they can nuke the United States. Bill Clinton got reelected. Everybody's happy. Anyway, so China's in an economic and information war with the United States. Donald Trump, of course, is responding in kind. We're now in a trade war with China. Trade war that one would think that the United States would want to win. Either that or, personally, I'll be honest with you, I don't think the trade war is a good idea. Everything that China was doing with trade to try to hurt the United States actually hurt them a lot more than it hurt us. We were doing fine without the trade war. We'd be doing fine anyway. So I'm not necessarily a big fan of the trade war. It's a big gamble that leads to more free trade in the future. That's good for us and China. Also good for Germany. Germany, believe it or not, is in a recession right now because of our trade war with China. So the whole world benefits if China comes to the negotiating table and negotiates in good faith on trade. So that would be a beautiful thing. But even without that, if we just simply went back to where it was before and said keep trying to screw us economically, it's not going to work. That would work. That's good for us. We don't really need to win the trade war. We just need to have as free of trade as China will give us. But the information war is a problem. The information war had two fronts. One front was China stealing technology, both by saying that you have to give them all of your intellectual property in order to do business in China, and also outright theft, hacking, what have you. Not just of intellectual property, but of trade secrets, military secrets, anything China can get their hands on. They're stealing any way they can, including through hacking. So that's one side of the information war. The other side of the information war is the information given to the American people. What China does there is, CNN, for example, is a giant news source in China. China's got 1.6 billion people. We've got about 330 million people, so we're just a small proportion of China in terms of the number of eyeballs we can give CNN. What China does is if you do not voluntarily censor your content based upon the dictates of China, China simply shuts you off from those 1.6 billion people. Well, CNN can't afford to lose access to those 1.6 billion people. That's a lot of money in terms of with the media. The media isn't actually what they produce. What they produce is audience, and they sell that audience to advertisers. So if you're CNN, you can't really afford to lose that 1.6 billion people. So what CNN and other media houses then do is they work with China to determine what they can report to the American people. And what China wants more than anything else is to negotiate trade with a different president than Donald Trump, somebody that will cave into them. Donald Trump is not going to cave into them. He's not just, to him, the economic and the information war are the same. He wants both to stop, and he's not going to cave. So what China wants to do then is they want to wait out Donald Trump, make him a one-term president, and then negotiate with whoever's next, such that they can continue to fight an economic and information war against the United States. And incidentally, China has come right out and said, through their war college, they come right out and said if they get to a point where they think they can defeat the United States in a shooting war, they're going to start a kinetic war too. They view that as the way they can truly emerge as a major superpower. And that's something that as America, we should be We should be totally against ever letting China get into a position where they could start a kinetic war, where they'd have any chance of winning a kinetic war. And that, of course, means that we have to win the economic and the information war, too. The information war, that's a simple one to win. We simply have to tell China and tell the American people, we are not going to allow a foreign power to censor our media. We're certainly not going to allow a foreign power that has declared war against the United States to censor our media. It's happening now. Donald Trump wants to stop it. I hope you want to stop it. One way to help stop it is to spread this message. If you want to share this video, feel free to do so. You can also sponsor me through Patreon. Even just $1 a month will help me buy equipment so I don't have to have a shaky phone in the car. It will help me get the software to edit my content so I don't have to do everything in one piece. Right now it's either make it or break it. I have to do it all in one set. If I make a mistake, I either have to live with it or I have to start over. So anything you can do to help, please consider doing so, and we will talk to you again soon. Okay, we'll see you Facebook. Bye.